If you've been following me on any social media, you know I've been reading through the Bible in 30 days as a young adult. And I've been reading through the Bible, sharing my thoughts every single day as I read through it in 30 days to show other people that, hey, you can do it too. When I first started the project, I was a little hesitant too. I was doing it with a couple of other guys, but then I said, you know what? No, we're just going to go for it and we're going to record my thoughts. We're going to post it to encourage other people to do the same. And the amazing thing is other people have started doing it because they saw it and they realized, you know what? I can actually do this. When I started, I was like, oh man, that's going to be a lot of work. I don't know how I'm possibly going to do that. But I realized that it's actually easier than a lot of people think it is. Hey, welcome to Growing Up Kingdom. My name's Daniel, and I'm so excited that you're here. If you've been looking for a place where you feel like you can be encouraged, where you feel like you can grow in your confidence, this right here is an absolutely great place to do that, so make sure that you stick around. Today, I just want to talk about my experience reading through the Bible in 30 days and why it's a whole lot more achievable than a lot of people think that it is. There's a lot of people, they never read the Bible. Some people, they read the Bible once. I love reading through the Bible. I've been through it like 3-4 times now, and this was my first time doing it this quickly. So yeah, I just want to give you some practical thoughts, different ways I found to make it easier, and what my thoughts were as I was doing it, showing you that you can do it too, that it's really not as hard as a lot of people really think it is. The first thing I realized is that it looks like a lot of reading, but it doesn't always feel like it. When you look at how much you're reading, sometimes if you open the Bible app, you'll see you've got maybe 40 chapters, 50 chapters to read, and it looks like a lot. You open it up, 40 chapters, 50 chapters, how am I going to get through this? But you have to realize that all the chapters in the Bible aren't the same length. Some chapters are really, really short, some are longer, right? So having 50 chapters, sometimes I've realized actually feels easier to read if it's a whole bunch of shorter chapters than 30-something longer chapters. So the big thing is not to get so overwhelmed with how much it says you're reading, how many chapters there are, because it will feel like a lot of chapters when you just look at it, but you won't really know how much it feels like until you really start reading. So don't feel like, this is too much just because you look at the chapter count. I know some people, they went to do it and they looked at it and they were like, 40 chapters in a day, how am I possibly going to do that? Now, to be honest, it does usually sit around a comfortable 40 chapters a day, but if you know how to handle it, if you know what to do, what not to do, then it actually becomes pretty attainable. The second thing I found that really helps is breaking it into chunks. Breaking the reading into chunks really does help. I heard one guy say, if I read half of it before the first half of my day is up, I'm in a good place. And I agree with that. A great way to do it is to break it up into morning reading sessions, evening reading sessions. I have definitely done it before where it gets to be like, I don't know, later in the evening, right? And I look at the clock and I'll be like, I haven't done my reading yet. And then we're in for the long haul. Let's put it that way. I'm sitting down and we're just going for it, right? An hour, hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. I've spent any amount of that time in there. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's talk about the time. How much time does it realistically take? Before I started it, I asked ChatGPT, hey, how much time would it take me to read if I was reading through the Bible in 30 days? How much would I have to read a day? And it was like, well, for most people, it's going to be an hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours. And I think I found that to be really, really pretty accurate. Now, I read fast. Last time I checked, I don't know if it was a very accurate source, but last time I checked my words per minute, I sit a good level above the average adult reading speed. I've always been a fast reader. And so I don't struggle too much with the time itself necessarily. It takes a lot of time. It does. But I've found that since I do read a little bit faster, it's not too bad for me. But time, it really does depend on how fast you read, right? Your words per minute. And if you keep starting, if you keep stopping. Another thing that just came to mind is how you're reading, right? Because different reading times will depend on where you are, right? If I'm sitting in the back of a bumpy car and I don't have my Bible with me and I'm just reading on my phone, it's going to be a little bit more crazy, right? Than if I'm sitting down and just sitting with my Bible open in my lap and just reading that way. I'm a whole lot more locked in like that. So the next thing that came to mind was reading on the Bible app itself. I prefer to read with a physical Bible. I do. But I'm all for using a phone too. If you want to do that, then you get different readings every single day. Gives you the readings, starts with a devotional. If you do the proper 30-day shred on the YouVersion app, it starts with a devotional, kind of sets the tone. It's like a paragraph, maybe one paragraph long, so it's a really quick read, but just sets the tone for the rest of the reading for the day. And I love tracking it like this. There are some people who will want to listen to the reading, and that works too. For me, when I say I'm reading through the Bible in 30 days, I am reading through the Bible in 30 days. Some people like to listen to the Bible, and you can do that in 30 days, and some people will read while they're listening at the same time. And I think that's a pretty good idea. If you're a more distractible reader, right? If things aren't the most consistent or simple in your life, then doing it that way helps a lot, right? If you got different background noise, different things happening, you can listen to the Bible app read it to you while you're reading it yourself. For me, again, I read pretty fast. So while listening at 2 times speed is too fast for some people on the Bible app, to me, I can set the Bible app as fast as it can possibly read, as fast as it allows me to, and I still read faster myself. So I didn't do that. I just read by myself, but it's definitely an option. It's definitely a possibility. Another great thing to do is to share your progress. Have other people along for the journey somehow, some sort of accountability. Again, I did this with a group of guys where we were all like, okay, yep, we did it for the day. We did it. Here are our takeaways. And I was the adventurous guy who said, you know what? Instead of writing my takeaways down in kind of like a soap format like we were all doing, I said, I want to encourage other people to do this with me. I want to show other people that you really can read through the Bible in 30 days and that it really is attainable. So I said, I'm going to do it in a video format. And so instead of just sharing it with, like 5 guys, I've been sharing it with 5,000 people or something like that, right? It depends how many people watch the video and all that good stuff. But obviously, having someone to tell about it is really, really great. Not because you're showing off in a sense, right? I didn't set out to do this, to do the videos so I could show off and be like, hey guys, I'm reading through the Bible in 30 days. The rest of y'all losers can't do that because you guys aren't consistent. That wasn't the point at all, right? The whole point was, hey, you can do this too. Follow along. Do it with me. If you can't do it this month, do it another month. But try it out. And so the whole point isn't to be like, hey guys, look at me. I'm reading through the Bible in 30 days. No, the whole point is you can have someone else to tell, and it makes you feel more consistent too, right? When you're not just like reading it yourself and like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. When you can really text a friend, right? Or do something or mark something off, it makes you feel a whole lot more committed. It just does. I don't think I can end this episode without talking about what happens if you miss a day, because that is big. If you miss a day, then all of a sudden everything implodes, the world stops spinning, everyone hates you. And no, I'm kidding. And that's a joke. No one be upset. What happens if you miss a day is nothing. Nothing happens if you miss a day. Absolutely nothing. If you're doing it on the Bible app, it's not going to yell at you. It just, in a little corner on the side, it says, you missed a day. It just says missed a day. Something like that. Missed one day. And no one's going to yell at you. No one's going to scream at you. All you got to do is just read more and catch up. But I will say, it can be a challenge to catch up. I missed one full day because I was traveling, and catching up the next day was more or less a nightmare. It was a lot of reading. It felt like a lot of reading, right? If it takes someone 2 hours, it's going to take them 4 hours to catch up in a day. So obviously do your best to stay on time, to keep up with it. Yesterday, I didn't do it again because I was at a conference almost all day, didn't have a lot of time to be reading. And so I didn't finish like maybe 10 chapters. That's not too bad in the scale of things. Again, remember, chapters can feel kind of intimidating, but I missed reading like 10 chapters. And so I just caught up today. Today's the last day. I finished it and we're done. So this is coming from a guy who read through the Bible in 30 days. And is saying, you know what, you can do it too. It's not that hard. We get scared of missing a day. We get scared of the time it's going to spend, at the time it's going to take. If you start reading in the morning, maybe before you get up and before you get out to school or get out to work, and then you read a little bit during your lunch break, and then you read a little bit after you get back home, it's definitely attainable. You can definitely do it. And I would encourage you to try. Now, maybe not if it's your very first time reading through the Bible. I would say start with a year. I would encourage you to start with a year. If you're reading through the Bible, and you're like, I want to do it in a certain amount of time, best place to start is a year. That's where I started with, right? Then go to something, if you want to, like a 90-day or a 60-day. I think I did 60 days last time. Read through it in a year twice. Then I did it in, I want to say 60 days, and now I did it in 30 days. And the more and more consistent you get, the more and more you get used to being consistent like that. I'm not going to say the easier it feels, because it really doesn't feel that easy when you're right in the middle of it, right? And you're still reading, like, how many more chapters do I have to do? But you get more used to it. Anyways, yeah, reading through the Bible in 30 days. You can do it. You can. If you've read through it in a couple different ways already, I would suggest you try it. If not, I would say try a year, try 90 days, try 60 days. If you want to go for 30 days, go for it. I'm out here saying you can do it. It's possible, it's attainable, and I'm saying you really would benefit from it. The whole point was you can read the Bible in 30 days. It's perfectly attainable, and I want to encourage you to try it. If you have any questions or you want to know a little bit more information, where I found my Bible plan, that sort of stuff, leave a comment if you're on the platform that leaves comments. I'd love to answer you, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just on the YouVersion Bible app. You just type in 30-day shred. You'll find it. If you think you have a friend who wants to know more about this, then share this podcast with them, because I'm sure they would love to hear about it too. I think everyone should try it at least once. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. I mean, whether this is a podcast you're listening to on Spotify, whether this is a video you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, I don't know where you're listening from, but I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that we get to do this together. If you've been watching the Reading Through the Bible in 30 Days videos, then let's do it. It's your turn to do it now. You watched me do it, now you can do it. That's the encouragement for today. I'm reading through the Bible. I was about to end with my usual reading through the Bible in 30 days talk. That's not what we're doing. Thank you for watching the episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you can on the platform you're listening on, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.